Hey, mamas and friends. Today's episode 4, The Boyfriend from Hell, one of my biggest regrets. Today, I will not be reading from my computer. I know. It's about to get real, y'all. I have a bullet point outline in my head. I don't even have it written out, which is crazy. But I'm going to be speaking more from the heart in an unfiltered way compared to what I would normally do. So every episode is from the heart, but I try to make sure that it's concise and clear and helpful and not just me, verbally regurgitating. But today, I might say some things wrong, which is kind of scary to me, but I really want to speak to your inner deep soul, like beyond your intellect, and get to your emotions and your heart, like the deep part of your soul. Because I think if you are possibly where I was and you're teetering between truly following the Lord in everything that you do, then that's why I'm not going to have notes today. And I just want to speak from the heart so that you hear me, So yeah, Lord help me. Okay, so as a teenager, I was pretty level-headed, so I feel as if I had a podcast to listen to or somebody to talk things through with, I may have made different decisions than what I did. So I'm asking that you share this with someone who you think this could be helpful or encouraging to, or at least give them the time to think before they go make a decision that they can't take back, So, because if I would have had that, I think things might have come out differently. We never know, because what we did is what we did. But I would like to hope that this can stop someone from making decisions that they will regret, because I surely did. Okay, so here we go. Whew. Growing up, as I've stated before, there was a lot of friction between my father and I, and eventually I started to have a not so good relationship with my mom. And so by the time I got to, I was 16 at this point when I was getting ready to date this guy, I felt as if no one would love me, nobody would really have the capacity to or care to. And so this was kind of like my last effort at trying to show myself that somebody could love me and people could be trusted. Yeah. And so my thought was, if I'm going to date somebody, because I didn't want to date because of my home life, I had to be able to protect myself. So I was able to read people pretty well. And so just being very logical and thinking things through and looking around at what high school was all about, I kind of figured, okay, most boys in high school seem to just want sex or something from you, or just to say they're dating you because you're XYZ to everybody else around them, and it's like to look good for themselves. And so I just decided I'm not going to do that. And I also think I might have partially been saved. Not partially, you can't be partially saved, but I think I may have been saved and was just really carnal. I don't know. So I don't really claim this time in my life. But there was definitely a pull to live right and a desire to not. And so I was battling that. And on one hand, I thought I don't want to do that, just because I don't want somebody to just date me because they want to get with me just to say they were with me. Because guys, talk about girls around school, and I'm like, I don't want to be in that. And because I really didn't trust people, I really wanted someone I could connect with. And it could be like what I read in romance books, not the ratchet ones, but like the actual romance books that had a storyline. And they, you know, they were successful Black people and they did things and they fell in love and lived happily ever after. Like, that's what I was looking for. So, anywho, I thought, I'm not going to date anybody. And because of my home life, in my mind, I thought, I don't have someone to love me, so I'm going to look for someone who seems kind of standoffish, because if they light up when they see me, or if they get soft when they see me, or they act differently than what everybody else sees, then that means they really love me. And I want somebody who's big, because I just want to feel like I'm protected and I'm cared for. And I just thought if that's someone big, it would be comforting physically for me. So yeah, I think those were two big things for me. And would you know, this guy had those things. He was, he wasn't like cold or mean, but he because of how big he was, and he was real chill, he could be intimidating. And so because he would warm up around me, I thought, okay, like, he really likes me. Lies, 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 lies. Like, do not use your hurt and pain to try to make some kind of weird sense out of what you think someone liking you is, because it was not true. Okay, we'll get to that part in the story. So that was one thing. He was that. And then two, he was big, and I just would look at him and I would be like, wow, he's so big, and I bet it would be great just to be in his arms way, way, way down the line. Like, I wasn't thinking about that, because remember, I was still thinking I'm not going to be dating boys. And I would even tell guys that, like, you don't want to date me. I'm not going to have sex with you. I'm not going to do other stuff with you. This is just going to be a waste of your time. So don't date me. And most of them would be like, all right, whatever. So yeah, so we meet, and we talk. He's real chill, and I find out that he works with his granddad. So I'm thinking, okay, he's not like the other guys here in high school. He works, and he does hard work where he has to be focused and responsible and consistent, and he does that. So that's something that's useful for a spouse, because I want them to know how to fix things, and I want them to have a work ethic. So, okay, this seems like somebody worth possibly giving my attention to. And so we just keep talking. I only see him during lunch, so we just talk when I see him. And then eventually I get to the point where I feel like, okay, he seems level-headed, he's doing good in school. So all right, let's just see. I'll give him a chance. And not like I'm so great, but I'm just saying, like, I'm giving myself the chance, I guess, to be loved. So yeah, we talk, and then it just seems like we should just kind of be friends. And so it doesn't really progress, I guess. I just was kind of blah, 'cause like I said, I wasn't trying to do anything sexual. And so, I don't know, it was just kind of blah. And then I think I wrote him a note saying, you know, I don't really know if we should really be together. We just seem like really good friends. And I think I had my friend give it to him. And that was it. We just kind of ended like that. And I think he may have been partially immature for some reason. I can't remember what it was, but I just remember we end up talking again. And because I said I would never go back to somebody. If I dated somebody and I broke up with them, I broke up with them for a reason. I am not going back. But fast forward, I remember seeing him, and driver's ed class. We had a class together and we ended up talking again. And as I talked to him, I think, he's matured. But before, when I first met him, I don't really remember him being immature, but for whatever reason, I thought he had matured some more. So whatever that is, there you go. But I just remember that because that helped me to make the decision to say, you know what, I should give him a second chance, because he didn't do anything crazy. He wasn't bad. There wasn't anything bad. So just, he's a good guy. He does well. Give him a second chance. And here I go. I give him a second chance. And I still stick to, I'm letting you know up front, we're not doing nothing. Don't look for that. We're going to date. We just going to date and just be friends. Exclusive friends, I guess. I don't know. But that's what we do. And then he kind of starts asking me, like, do you want to kiss? And I'm like, no, not really. And then we kind of let it go. And then I think he asked me again. And then I just remember this one day very distinctly. We're in the kitchen and we're eating sausages and I think a peanut butter sandwich, or he's eating a peanut butter sandwich and I'm eating a sausage. I can't remember, something like that, but I can distinctly remember the taste in my mouth. When he tried to kiss me. But before that, he was getting upset because I didn't want to, and I'm like, oh, fine, finally, whatever, I'll do it, to kind of get him off my back. That doesn't work. Like, just red flag here, girl. If or boy, if a person is pressuring you to do something you don't want to do, and you think if you do it one time, then it'll get them off your back for a little bit so that you guys can kind of get over that and then just be back to how it was. That's not how that works. If somebody has desire for you that they want to act on, they're looking to act on it over and over again, and as much as you will allow them, more than likely. It's not just oh, I want to kiss you one time and then we're going to be done. And my special self did not think about that. And sure enough, that's what happened. At some point, I started to kind of be more interested in him touching me. And so I would be like, okay, I guess we can kiss, or you can hold me, or I'll sit on your lap, because I was against all these things before. Like, I wouldn't even let him give me a ride home after school because I didn't want it to look like we're riding in the car together. We're going to go somewhere or do something. I didn't want any of it. And so, yeah. And I'm trying to think. This is why I like having notes, y'all, because my brain just gets like, what's next? What's next? But fast forward, we get to the point to where we've been dating for a while, and I turned 18, I believe. And I think, okay, 18 seems like a reasonable age to finally have sex, even though I said I wanted to wait until I was married. And he wants to, and he's asking me, and I'm just kind of curious about it. So, okay, we can try. Mind you, the Lord will give you hints, because before this happened, I went to the doctor beforehand, and she said, have you had sex before yet? And I said, no. And she said, good. Many times when I talk to young girls who say that they do engage in sexual intercourse at this age, they usually regret it. Like they are sad that they did it with whoever they're with, and they wish they would have waited. I heard that, and I thought, yeah, because they're probably with somebody who's XYZ, and the guy I'm dating's not like that. He's a pretty decent guy. So I could see why other girls would think that, but I don't think I would regret this. It seems okay. Child, I should have listened. That was the Lord talking through that lady. But I didn't listen, y'all. I did not listen. And so, oh, And another big thing is his parents had their own church. Or, yeah. So when I tell you, we both knew of how we should live. We may not have known everything. I don't know all that he knew, but I knew for a fact this probably is not right and I shouldn't do this. But I was like, who really does this? I don't really know any people around me who really live fully all the way God calls us to. So, you know, I'm just gonna do this and I'll still do good in other areas like I normally do. And I even went as far as to not read certain scriptures so that I could say, well, I don't know what the word says about this. Like, y'all, the flesh was acting up, okay? Acting up. And yeah. So then and then the Lord, I mean, there was just so many times where he gave me chances to not do this, and I did it, because another time we tried to, and something happened where we weren't able to, and I was just irritated because I thought I finally was going to do something bad. I was going to try this, and I didn't, and this is frustrating. This is dumb. Because before this, a couple people in my family were at, like, in front of everyone. Don't do this, guys. They were like, I know you're doing stuff with your boyfriend. And at that time, I was not. And I actually had even had a conversation with my mom telling her I wasn't interested. And she was like, well, I don't really care. You're going to get on birth control. And, you know, just in case. And I was like, I'm literally dating no one. I'm not interested. I don't see myself doing this. Most parents would be extremely excited their children are saying this. Why are you still trying to make me get on this? And she said, well, I know you're saying that now, but in the moment you might change your mind, blah, blah, blah. And that caused a whole nother issue where I had to, which I later realized I was not being heard, I felt. And because of that, I just felt like, well, if I'm trying to live up to this standard that nobody seems to care about, then what does it really matter? I guess it's not that important. I guess it's just whatever. And so, yeah, that helped. All these different pieces helped to lead me to the point where I was like, fine, I'll do it. Because I'm trying to also show him that I love him, because I think he'd said it to me, but I didn't say it. Or I did say it, but it felt empty. Like, I love you like a friend, you know, but I don't know if I have that kind of love for you. And I had brought this up a couple times in the relationship, and he was like, no, we should still be together. I still want to be with you. And I'm thinking, okay. And so I get to this point where I'm finally going to try this, and it doesn't work out. And I just feel like, what the heck? This is dumb. And so eventually we get to the point where we are able to. And even as we're trying to in the act, I can just remember this is not how I imagined this moment to be. I can feel, I'm gonna tell y'all some details. Oh, but listen, I am sharing this in the hopes of stopping you from making the decision I made. I can remember feeling like sand in the bed, and I'm like, bed dirty? This don't even like match up to any of the pretty, you know, beautiful ways they describe how love is supposed to be in the books. Like, I'm just supposed to be overjoyed and so happy, and this is supposed to be a beautiful moment, and I'm over here feeling like, oh bro, the least you could have did was like brushed off your bed sheet. So I'm feeling like dust and crumbs or stuff. Like, what is this? So yeah, it was not the moment, okay? It sucked. It wasn't even good. I was like, why am I doing this? Was a waste. Listen, I have so many thoughts and feelings about this. Listen. And so we did it. And like I said before, you may think if I do this one time to show this person, okay, see, I did it to make you happy, or I did it to show you that I love you. It don't work like that. They're going to want to continue to do it. And he did. And I just thought, I don't really want to, but I would try to like drag it out as in drag out the time to where I didn't have to do it, because I'm like, I don't really want to. So it wouldn't be often. It was just like, okay, fine, here. And so I remember one time he stole condoms, and I just thought, why would you do that? You have a job and we don't use them like that, so why? That doesn't make sense to me. Girl, that should have been a red flag. That should have been a red flag. I didn't catch it. So fast forward again, and somebody says to me, you should be watching blank, blank, blank. And I thought, why is she saying that? Because this person seemed to be pretty drama filled, and so I was kind of like, can you really take what she's saying worth anything? I don't know. And so I kind of brushed it off, but I thought that was odd. But he just seemed so normal and not like a player that I really didn't think anything of it. But another red flag, if you don't know, because I didn't know this at the time. One time I was in the car with my family, and we were going to go visit my family in a different city. And my dad asked me, why are you texting him? Why is he asking? Because he texted me, where are you? What are you doing today? And so I texted him back. And my dad was like, why are you always texting him? Why he need to know what you're doing for the day, or where you at? And I didn't think anything of it, because I was just thinking, well, he always asks me like, where am I at, or what am I doing? Friend, let me put you on game that I didn't know about. That's because he wants to know where you are so that he can make sure y'all paths don't cross. Because he about to do some dirt, okay? You're welcome. I find this out much later. Of course, like I said, I didn't know. And then move forward, because I don't think anything else is really important. I'm trying to give you the big stuff, and I feel like this is already taking a long time. I get to college, and he tells me, oh, I get saved. For real. At least for me. I'm going to count this time. So I decided I'm really going to follow the Lord. And one of the things that they talk about is you have to give up having sex outside of marriage. And I thought, okay, I see young people who actually do live this and they believe this. Okay, I think this is possible. I want to try this. I really want to live for the Lord. And he came up to visit me, and I still ended up having sex with him to appease him, which didn't make sense, because I had in my mind I was going to tell him, like, I don't want to do this. We are going to stop. And you don't have to deal with it. But for whatever reason, I caved in. I don't know. And then I decided after, okay, no, for real, I'm going to tell him, because I'm not even really interested in this. And before I could do that, he calls me and tells me, hey, I really need to tell you something before you come home. And I'm like, okay, are you okay? Did something happen? And he's like, I've been cheating on you. And I'm just kind of like, what? Really? Because in my head, I'm thinking, we were together a lot. How did you even have time? When did you do this? how did I not read this? I am normally good at reading people. And oh, and another red flag should have been, while we were dating, an ex of his got pregnant by someone, and he was so mad. He was so mad. Well, it makes sense why he was mad. He was sleeping with her, and he was getting played, I guess, because she was sleeping with him and somebody else. I'm telling you, y'all, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, well, I guess that can be understandable. You know, somebody you used to have feelings for, you're kind of upset. Okay, I guess I could get that. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, he tells me, and it was with multiple girls, and it was most of our relationship. And I just think, oh my God, so many things are starting to make sense. And I was not, I think it's going to sound bad, but it's true. But I've already said this, so I'm not saying something I didn't say before. I kept saying, I feel like we should just be friends. We're just really good as friends. I don't know if we should really be dating. And he was like, no, I want to be with you. And I'm like, okay. So I wasn't in love with him when we broke up. So I wasn't really hurt about that. I was just hurt that he was dishonest, because I told him up front, I don't want to do this. And if that's what you want, just go be with somebody else. And he was like, no, I don't. I'm good. I'll wait whenever you want. And I'm like, okay. So that's why I was mad. But the biggest regret that I had was me kind of feeling those different feelings of maybe I really shouldn't be with him, but I stayed anyway. And those little red flags that I saw, like him stealing, and I'm just like, I'm not down for that. Why would you do that? But I kind of let it go because I thought it was just this one time. And it was just like, Brittany, why didn't you listen to yourself? Or maybe it was the Holy Spirit talking to me. Why didn't you listen? And it was just dumb. Like, you could have avoided this. And I also found out, he told me, when we were dating, he was like, the only reason why I kept talking to you was because you look good, and I thought I really want to have sex with her, and I'm willing to wait however long. And I actually thought you might have been in a special class, because I only saw you during lunch. But when I talked to you, you seemed normal, so I thought, okay, I'm still going to talk to you. And I was so floored and shocked when he said that, and it was kind of funny. And I guess I kind of gave him a pass because we were dating, and I kind of let it go. But that should have been a red flag for me when he said that. I can't remember when he said that, because at that point we may have already been having sex, so I can't remember. But yeah. And I think I'm pretty sure I also told him, like, I don't plan on having sex with multiple people. Like, there is one person, that is you. You are now my person. And for the most part, you're pretty decent, so I'm willing to be with you. And it was, I was saying sentences that sounded like I was settling. He wasn't really that driven or ambitious, and I was, and I would try to talk him into doing that. He didn't really want to do it. And so I kind of started to get lax on my work, and I ended up not doing well in a class. And now I'm not blaming all of this on him, but I'm just saying, the people you hang around, you're going to act like them, or they're going to act like you. It's going to be a mix. And obviously I wasn't rubbing off on him. He was rubbing off on me. Okay. And so when he said that to me, I thought, and here is the crazy part, y'all. Here's the crazy part. I think it's because I had decided I wasn't going to be sleeping with more than one person. So I was thinking, well, I'm just going to be alone for the rest of my life, because I won't be with anybody else. So he's telling me this now. I'm guessing he is sorry and remorseful for what he did. And I said, okay, so are you going to get rid of the girl's numbers in your phone? And he said no. And the girl who had a baby, if she ever needs my help, I'm going to help her because I told her I would. And I said, okay, but that's not your child. She has the father. He is in the child's life. You don't need to be a part of that. Like, they could take care of themselves. And if you really want me to stay with me, you should show me that by breaking all ties with her and deleting the numbers. And he was adamant, y'all. He was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Why am I sitting here fighting somebody I don't even want to be with? And y'all, I really can't tell you why. I don't know. I had so much sense in so many ways. I was so responsible and so just, on my stuff, and I wasn't even in love. Can't imagine dumb stuff I would have did if I really did love somebody. Like, this is crazy. And I just remember I felt the Holy Spirit just rise up in me and tell me, Brittany, stop. Just stop. And I did. I was like, okay, all right. And it just kind of ended kind of like, so what does that mean? And I can't fully remember. I just remember it was the way it ended. It was like, I don't know. All right, well, we're not going to be together if you're going to do that. Or I don't think this is going to work, or something like that. Like, it was, I just stopped trying to fight to talk to him, to make this make sense to him. And so, yeah. And I didn't go back to try to fix it or to talk. And months had passed by, I think. And I talked to him one time. And the conversation, I was so excited about serving in church and the growth I'd had. And just listening to him, it was like, he's still the same. He's not trying to change. And I was just thinking, I would be dimming who I have become in Christ to try to be with him. And I don't even hear it. I don't feel, just no, girl. Just, it ain't there. Leave it alone. And so I did. And when I tell you the pain and frustration and anger and resentment and regret and stupidity, so many emotions I felt, because all of this could have been avoided if I never got back with him that second time. And I ended up also finding out later that people that I knew from high school saw him with other girls, but I guess they were like afraid to tell me. I don't know. And then I also found out that I had a friend where something happened, and I said something to him about this friend, and he ended up trying to talk to her. Y'all, I can't. This was, yeah, I don't want to say more than that because I'm not trying to put people out. But yeah, it was just a mess. It was a mess. And I was just so upset with myself. And I just thought, nope, that's it. That is it. If I date somebody else, it is going to have to be done right, because I will not mess up again. And I forgave myself, but it was a long, hard road, because I just thought, you made one of the dumbest decisions ever. Like, I can't even tell you. It was years, girl. Ugh. I just lament because I just think I missed the signs. And another thing, let's just go ahead and put it all out there, because I mean, it's in the past, it's done, so it's not like it's, but whatever. So one New Year, we were going to his family's church, and before we went to the New Year's service, we both got off work, did something sexually, and then went to the church service. Y'all, real though. Because in high school, I enjoyed going to church. I enjoyed going to church, and I wanted to follow God. And I mean, I had ups and downs because I wasn't reading my word. It was yeah, but I don't want to make this long. Oh my gosh, this is getting long. But I just want to say, I knew enough to know that that wasn't right, and I was trying to seek after God, but this relationship was not helping. So let's wrap this up and bring it to a close. I think I've said enough. But if you are talking to someone or you're in a relationship with someone and it seems good, that's the tricky part. Like, it seemed good. He had a good work ethic. He had a job. He was responsible. Like, but he was also asking me to do things that I just didn't want to do. And with me somewhat trying to follow God, just my personal boundaries on top of my faith boundaries, he still was pushing it. And eventually, because like I said, it wasn't just him. I'm not blaming just him. It was both of us. I decided, because of, like I said, home life, my will to keep what I said deteriorated, and I did it as well. But it went south, and here I am doing things that I never thought I would do, and I'm all the while feeling like, I don't even really know that I love you like that. Do you feel this? I don't feel this. Should we just be friends? Listen to that inner voice in you. And if you saved, listen to the Holy Spirit. This ain't it. That ain't it. It ain't it. Okay? If I could just stress that. If the person is saying they're willing to wait for you, but they mean it like whenever you're ready, not that I want to actually follow what you're saying to the finish line, like fully, but at some point I wear you down, or at some point you change your mind. Yeah, I'll wait. But you know you just don't want to do that. Honor yourself and say, you know, but this probably isn't for you. Like, I'm not for you. Like, if you cut it off at the beginning, you save yourself so much time, heartache, frustration, and pain. So I hope I've made myself clear. I feel like I repeated myself a lot. I'm sorry. But like I said, I didn't want to have notes because I wanted to let you hear the unfilteredness of it all. Hopefully I don't have to trash this whole episode. But if you got anything from this, I hope you hear my heart in that. Listen to yourself or the Holy Spirit or other people. When the Lord sends people and he's trying to warn you, sis, this ain't it. Bruh, she ain't it. Leave it alone. You trying to live right. But every time you go see your girlfriend from out of town, she kissing on you. She trying to get, you know what I'm saying, under your shirt. She's like, come on, just this one time. We won't do it again. No. I don't know how many more ways I need to say no. Like, I don't know how else to say no. No. Yeah. Family, life, just. And so, okay, one other thing I will say, because I can do a whole other episode, and I also wanted to do this episode before I talk about forgiveness, because it's not just forgiving my parents. I also have to forgive myself because I played a part in it. But one of the great things that my therapist said to me was that, first of all, the fact that you went through a checklist to decide he was even worth you dating shows that you were mature for your age, and you were thinking through your decision. But you can only think it through so much. Like, you're young, you don't have any help or guidance, and you're trying to figure this out. So you made the best decision with what you knew at that time. So you have to give yourself the grace to let that go. And that was hard to hear because I just felt like, yeah, but still that was a dumb decision, and I could have not done it. But we'll get into that later. But I just want to say that to you, that if you have made a decision and you did the best you could with what you knew at that point, forgive yourself, move on, and you can do something different. You don't have to keep rehearsing and living in that, because I definitely did. And you can be different. So we'll get more into that later because I have a lot more to say about that. But you got the gist of this episode. And I've gone a whole, extra 3 minutes talking. So I'm done. Let's wrap this up. Thank you for listening. I hope this was encouraging to you to at least consider the type of relationships you find yourself getting in. And if this helped you enough to possibly even stop something, praise the Lord. And I know it might hurt right now or it might be frustrating, but the heartache and pain and frustration, like I said, that you're going to save yourself is so going to be worth it. So yeah. All right. And we have a Facebook Live coming up where I'm going to be talking a little bit more about this episode. I don't really know what to say for our Facebook Live. I don't know. I don't really know, but be looking out for it. We'll talk about something. Maybe we'll talk about signs where you should maybe pause on a relationship if you feel like it might not be right. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But thank you for listening. I'm done for real, for real. Talk to you next month. Bye, mamas and friends.